Excellent. Quentin King.
Guitar
Welcome.
for all seasons, this
Yes,
one here.
it is.
Paul Decker.
Welcome, everybody. We are at Music Villa, Bozeman, Montana. And today, I think I'm going to go on record to say this is probably the best guitar for the money and in this category, this body shape, that you could possibly buy in the entire world.
That's a bold statement.
Yeah.
But I don't disagree. I actually don't disagree.
I mean, I can't say enough about this guitar. And there's two models of it, but this one, we could go into a couple other Yamaha models, but this is the FG830. It's a spruce top, rosewood back and sides, Dreadnought style. FG stands for folk guitar. That's what the FG means with Yamaha. But it's
all solid wood, right?
The back and sides are laminate.
Okay. Really?
Yeah.
This sounds
laminate, rosewood, and I mean it's.
I had to ask. I presumed it was all solid because to me it sounds like an all solid. I was going to say all solid for the price.
Right.
That would be incredible. But I asked because it.
And the other one's the FG800,
good.
which is like a type of mahogany style back and side. Same guitar, different woods, a little different appointments on it. And I'd say that's the best guitar for the money as well.
In that class as well.
Yeah. But this one is just, it's ridiculous. It is.
It's a workhorse.
It's hard to compare it to other guitars in the store. Especially if you're kind of, if you're looking to move up a notch and you're kind of like, then you play this and you play the one that's up here, you might have some trouble deciding. I think it's like
crazy. This is a guitar that would force people to consider saving more money to jump. Because you can cover so much ground in terms of growth with this instrument and its capabilities as a performer before you ever felt compelled to jump up to one of the more
I'd say above 3K, it would be difficult to find something from there to there. This guitar is that good.
Yeah, and it's. I remember reading a quote a long time ago. We might have talked about this. I read this great book a long time ago. I forget the author. I may have mentioned it before, but I think it's called The Guitar or Guitar: An American Story.
I remember you told me about that.
Great book, and
I think you gave me it. I never
gave
read
you. That's fine. I didn't presume as much that you'd read it, but I don't even know if it's in print anymore. But the book's really cool because it goes back and forth between the history of this instrument that we know as the guitar, starting all the way back with the Middle Eastern ouds and prior instruments up through the Spanish guitar, and then introduction to America, Hawaiian guitar, and then when the singing cowboys and microphones and the radio shows of yesteryear, that's when the guitar suddenly became this perfect instrument because frankly, it wasn't loud enough to compete in the old days compared to violins, horns, things like that. But once you could mic it, suddenly everybody's playing guitar, all the singing cowboys, and then everything else is history. But one of the stats that he presented, and I don't know if it's still true, you might know, is that this type of instrument, an acoustic guitar, outsells all other instruments combined. I've heard that stat. Check me, YouTube. Check ChatGPT.
I don't know. I know that they make
that if you looked at sales for acoustic guitars, like the total sales in acoustic guitars around the world would be more than all other instruments combined. Violins, drums, all the other types of instruments.
But you know that then if you put like the PlayStations, game stations, that's on another level, even above guitar. That's why I always think there's always going to be a guitar market because we haven't even hit, like if you think about young kids who play video games and stuff, and if that market is 10 billion times higher than the guitar market, I'm saying that there's still a chance.
I see. So that's an untapped market for those kids who like to play games like this or like this. And it's funny
what I'm saying is that there's a chance they're going to get a guitar one day in their bedroom, because I think you start to think, there's so many guitars out there, everyone must already have one. People aren't going to buy guitars anymore. It's not true. There's still millions of people that need a guitar.
That don't know it.
And they need a guitar in this price point if you're starting out, and you can't go wrong.
And that will live and grow with you through formative years, or if you're like many people, you kind of on again, off again over the years. This is what I say to my kids is, one of the great things, and I'm speaking to the choir here of other acoustic guitar players, but regardless of whether you went straight into lessons, you learned classical notation, all that kind of stuff, or you're self-taught, you learned your 3 chords, or now if you're a young person or our age learning from YouTube, I think the coolest thing about these instruments is the process of discovery. And so to me, it's very much like a video game.
Mm-hmm.
The mastery of, I mean, this is the boss that you're trying to beat in the final level, right? And you never quite beat it, but it's always waiting for you to try again.
Right.
And there's so much.
Sometimes you're going to take that route. And then sometimes you go that route.
It's a choose your own adventure story, and so it's, to me, there's a puzzle. There's never-ending mystery here, trying to figure stuff out. So I hear what you're saying about that untapped market.
I just feel like there's a chance that we can still sell guitars in this world. So the other thing too, this guitar is super tough. Say you already have nice guitars like you have. Yep. You could take this one out to your campfires and all your stuff like that. These are just, I mean, they're incredibly resilient in our dry climate here. They just, we never work on them. They sound great. So I am gonna just say it again. This would be my top pick of the best guitar for the money.
I refer to them as insurance guitars.
Yeah,
right. So
totally.
you've got your high-end guitar that you don't want to expose to certain types of environmental conditions, but you want to play and you want a good sound. And for us out here, it's camping. There might be other environments where folks take it out, and the temperatures vary, humidity, all that stuff. I believe I have one of these, or it's another Yamaha that I bought specifically to take for camping, so I don't have to take my many $1,000 Martins. But I can still enjoy the sound and playability, all the features. So, can you say how much it is? People can link to it.
No, because times change. Video stays online, and then next year it's different.
Somebody
price,
comes back in.
so,
Okay, gotcha. But what I'll say is it always surprises me how accessible these guitars are. Price wise.
Anyone can get started. Let's do it. Do it today. musicvilla.com. Quentin.
The Yamaha FG830. There's a reason there is a dedicated fan base for Yamahas. Because they make great quality instruments at the very top end, but it's reflected even in some of the more accessible lower price point instruments.
Love it. Thank you. Thanks for watching, everyone.